Hey everybody, it's Troy. Hey, listen, we're learning more about that tragic shooting that took place in Colorado Springs at Club Q, which is a gay nightclub. The shooting that killed 5 and injured 25 people. The suspect in custody is Anderson Lee Aldrich from Colorado Springs. We are learning now that apparently Mr. Aldrich's grandfather is a gentleman named Randy Vopel, who was a California State Assemblyman representing East San Diego County. He recently lost his bid for re-election in the midterms. But Randy Vopel is a very outspoken MAGA politician who got into some trouble after January 6th by comparing it to Lexington and Concord. He said that days after the Capitol, he wrote on social media, "This is Lexington and Concord, first shots fired against tyranny. Tyranny will follow in the aftermath of the Biden swear-in on January 20th. So California Assemblyman Randy Vopel vocally supporting the January 6th insurrection, a Trump MAGA politician from Southern California. It was his grandson, Anderson Lee Aldrich, who apparently committed this horrific mass shooting in Colorado Springs over the weekend. We're also learning that in 2021, a man with the same name, Anderson Lee Aldrich, had called in a bomb threat to a suburban Colorado Springs home where Laura Vopel, the daughter of Assemblyman Randy Vopel, had been staying. Aldrich was apparently in the same home at the time, although he did not live there. Apparently he lived with his grandparents nearby in the nearby neighborhood. The standoff lasted about 3 hours. The police evacuated the entire neighborhood before they were able to coax Aldrich to come out of the door. He was then taken into custody and arrested on 2 counts of felony menacing and 3 counts of first-degree kidnapping. No explosives were found on the scene, but a police report later filed by Laura Vopel claimed that the son had threatened her with homemade bombs, homemade explosives, and other weapons. No charges were filed against Anderson Lee Aldrich, and the case was eventually sealed. Then a year later, Aldrich walks into Club Q nightclub with an AR-15 long rifle and immediately opens fire, killing 5 patrons and injuring another 25 before he's ultimately subdued. Subdued, by the way, by patrons with their bare hands. No guns were needed. No good guy gun situation was needed there. The brave, heroic patrons of this nightclub subduing Aldrich with their bare hands. What is unclear now is how exactly Aldrich was able to get his hands on an AR-15 rifle, despite Colorado's red flag laws. After calling in this bomb threat, this man should not have had access to that kind of weaponry. He should have been unable to purchase an AR-15. However, the AR-15 was in his possession, and he was able to go on to commit this mass shooting. His mother, Laura Vopel, is apparently a gun fanatic and follows several gun club accounts, pro-gun accounts on Instagram. If anyone should have been unable to get access to this kind of weaponry, to this kind of gun, it would be this man, this 22-year-old man with this history of violence, calling in a bomb threat against his own mother. The charges on that case sealed. We're not sure how he was able to get access to that gun, but just a tragic, tragic moment in our history. Yet another mass shooting in Colorado, of all places. America has a serious, serious problem with guns. If someone like this can get their hands on this type of weaponry and go on to commit this kind of crime after calling in this bomb threat, Anderson Lee Aldrich should have been in jail. He should have been taken out of society. He certainly should not have been able to get his hands on an AR-15. So just an absolutely another tragic example of our failed gun laws in this country. But moreover, this is a direct result. This shooting is a direct result of the anti-LGBTQ rhetoric that we've been seeing on social media among right-wing talking heads over the past few years, demonizing the LGBTQ community, calling them groomers, calling them pedophiles, stirring up conspiracy theories that there is a coordinated movement among the LGBTQ community to groom children to homosexuality. Just nonsense, absolutely nonsensical stories that are circulating online. There have been multiple threats. There have been multiple threats against drag queen shows, bomb threats called into these shows, people showing up with weapons. This is tension that has been brewing against the LGBTQ community, against the drag queen community for years now, and it's a direct result of the hateful rhetoric that has been spewing up on the right. We cannot separate the rhetoric from the action, and the right-wing talking heads, the right-wing spin machine that has not denounced these conspiracy theories but rather fed into them is partially to blame for this shooting. They have blood on their hands today. The people that have been spreading on these lies, passing on these lies, and not condemning this fascist conspiracy rhetoric about grooming, about pedophilia, they are at fault here. They are at fault here. They had a responsibility to control this violent rhetoric, to control these lies that were spreading on their side, and they did not do it. Rather, they encouraged it. They encouraged this rhetoric about transgender, this hateful rhetoric about transgender individuals and about the LGBTQ community, and this shooting is a direct result of that. But what we know for sure is that this man should not have had access to weapons. He came from a MAGA family. His grandfather was a MAGA politician, a MAGA fascist, Trump-supporting politician who had praised the January 6th insurrection. So just a violent roots, violent family, violent MAGAism leading to violent results in this country with yet another horrific mass shooting, as we're all coming to grips with this reality in our society. It is incumbent upon people to tone down the rhetoric, to tone down the hate, and we have to get these guns under control. We have to identify people that should not have access to these types of weapons and make sure they do not get their hands on them. We have a serious problem with gun violence in this country that we have to get under control. For MeidasTouch, this is Troy. Remember, smash that subscribe button to keep supporting independent media.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs. It wasn't rigged, you're just a loser. At store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.